Hello traders, welcome back. My name is Neville Hornsey, market altitude trading, and today I'll be taking a look at the week ahead. Okay, starting with the YouTrading.com Forex heat map, we can see the top right hand corner is very solid green. Looking to the bottom left hand corner, a little bit more red. So starting off the trading week with a bit more risk off. Big moves into the yen. Swiss francs also got quite a lot of moves. Pounds getting bid, and we're also sort of seeing some moves into the US dollar. But if we look down to the New Zealand dollar, last week that was ending strong, and we'll talk about why in a little bit. Going to calendar. All right, so Monday, the US session is going to be a bit quieter, assuming that there's no headline risk. Obviously, we've still got things going on in Ukraine. So US session, low liquidity, might get some volatility. Starting off though, in the London session, we've got the European, French and German flash manufacturing and services PMI. And then a little bit later on, we've got the UK flash manufacturing PMI. And if we go to a active trader platform, look at the euro versus the pound, we can see here that 88, so around 90% of the traders on this platform are trying to go long. So we're looking to go short. If we look on a weekly chart, see we've got these equal lows around the 0.828. And then if we look a little bit lower, we've got this imbalance from June 2016 when we had the UK referendum. And we've got this imbalance here. So if we do sweep these lows, it might be just to stop out that cohort that are long. The price action and momentum obviously to the downside, so we could get a bit of a follow through all the way down to the 0.8 sort of zone. Going back to the calendar on Tuesday, obviously the US traders come back in the afternoon, which would be good. We do have their flash manufacturing and services PMIs. We've also got some consumer confidence surveys, which are expected to come in lower than the previous readings. If we look here, we've also got German IFO business climate. That's supposed to come in better than expected. So if we get a disappointing German IFO business climate, then imagine the euro is going to come down a bit lower. But euro versus US dollar is probably the currency pair to trade on Tuesday. So going to the active trader platform. See here, 55% of traders are trying to go long. So we're still of the sort of got a slight short bias for ourselves if we're going to go contrarian to them. This is a weekly chart. So if we just look a couple of candles to the left, we've got this low here from early February. We just want to test that. If I go down to a daily chart, we can see that we've opened below that. So if we get like a little rise into the London session, maybe even tag the low from 16th of February. And then I think anybody that wants to go long the euro will want to sort of build a long position below the 1.13. We can see that the sort of a significant low from 28th of January to the significant high the 10th of February, the sort of halfway mark is roughly where we bounced off in 14th of February, so last Monday. So I think, traders that want to hold for a long time want to get the best price. And there's this big imbalance here from the 31st of January up until the lows of the 3rd of February. So I think they want to come back down, get back into this sort of area here, maybe 100 pips lower, 1.12 in a bit, and then see if we can go back and test the 200 period moving average that's descending here. Going back to the calendar, on Wednesday, the yen and Japan are on bank holiday. So again, if there is more risk happening in Ukraine, there's normally flows going into the yen, so we might get some volatility around that. Early in the morning or in the overnight session, should I say, we've got the RBNZ monetary policy statement, their official cash rate. Currently, they're at 0.75%. It's almost 100% baked in. The market is really expecting this rate hike to happen. Another 25 basis points, taking it up to a full 1 percentage point. If that doesn't happen, then we'll see the flows that have been going into the Kiwi, so the New Zealand dollar here, all of last week was building strength. Go to the euro versus New Zealand dollar. So we had the big, obviously, sell-off in the euro, and we also had a lot of movement into the New Zealand dollar. So I'm expecting slightly more downside in the euro versus New Zealand dollar. I think traders obviously will want to see that rate hike happen, and then we'll get a bit more sell-off and see if we can get down towards this 1.679 and maybe even down to the 200 EMA that's rising up here. And that comes in just below 1.675. Looking back at the calendar, Thursday, got the Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking, and that happens before the US session opens. Then we have the preliminary GDP quarter on quarter for the US, their unemployment claims, the crude oil inventories, and then we've also got FOMC member Mester speaking. So, Wednesday, maybe wait until after Mester's spoken, and then we'll have a look at the pound versus US dollar. Obviously, the pound's been strong of late, and again, we should take a look, see what's going on in the sentiment indicator. So here we've got 68% of traders trying to short the pound versus US dollar. So we should be looking for reasons to get long. I think we're going to take out the equal highs up here around the 1.36. So the highs of 10th of February and the high of 18th of February. I think we're going to test up there and then hopefully push up to the 1.37. Obviously, we're still waiting on the 20 and the 50 EMAs to get back above the 200 EMA for the trend following sort of strategies to kick in. But yeah, at the moment, price action looks like it wants to go higher. There is also, relatively equal lows down here at 1.348. So there is still a chance that, something goes wrong. Bank of England spooks the markets, maybe turns to the Ukraine, and we get a pushback down. It's a lot of balance area to get through. So I think the path of least resistance is now to the upside. If we do come lower, then it might actually have to be quite a sharp sort of rejection of these levels back down here. All right, going back to the calendar, we end Friday, February the 25th, with US sort of centric news, core PCE price index, durable goods, and University of Michigan consumer sentiment. The Fed are going to be watching the core PCE. Obviously, that's an inflation metric that they monitor quite closely, and we're getting quite close now to the FOMC meeting where they're expected to raise rates. If there's a big drop off in inflation, then it'd be interesting to see what the market thinks the FOMC will do. Maybe they won't be raising rates as hard and quickly as people have been expecting. We have to wait and see. Obviously, we have to keep an eye on the actual sentiment in the markets. By then, we could be in a place where all week we've been risk off. We could get a risk on sort of flip on Friday on good news. So yes, active trader looking at the dollar CAD. That looks like it wants to go higher. Aussie US dollar is in a downtrend, so we're expecting to sort of see USD strength, Aussie weakness. And then if I just take a quick look at the dollar versus the yen, because of the flows going into the yen, this has been like pushing down on the dollar versus the yen. So we've got a start of sort of break of market structure, not the significant stuff. This is like the internal stuff. If we get down towards the 1.14 and break through that, then I think that's going to be a potential change in trend. We do have a rising 200, the 20 and the 50 haven't crossed over yet. And there is a potential that we go up and sweep the highs here at 116.5. If that happens, it's based on inflation on Friday coming out really strong for the PCE. Markets expecting rate hikes, for the full amount, and then stronger dollar, and hopefully the situation in Ukraine is not as bad as we it could be. Okay, it's going to be an interesting week. Obviously, make sure you don't get caught up in some sort of volatility on Monday when the US session's closed. And I'll speak to you again tomorrow.